Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Oh man, Joe here.
Kevin.
Very excited for the next episode of The West Wing.
Yeah, cranking right along through season 2 here.
Best TV show of all time.
Oh, it's great. As far as the TV drama goes, yeah, it's amazing. This has been a great season of television. They've somehow upped everything from season 1, which was a great season of television.
Yeah, season 2 has been impeccable so far.
The writing and the performances have been the complete standout. Was the Noel was last episode, which was freaking amazing.
And we talked about in that episode how it had certain film noir flourishes to it. And I wouldn't consider that a bottle episode, but in terms of moving the story along, it kind of slowed things down and focused on the characters.
Yeah, particularly Josh.
Yeah, and it's not that it didn't even progress the story, because it kind of did. It still showed you that Josh is dealing with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Rightfully so. I mean, he's a trauma victim, he's a gunshot victim, and what does that do to somebody psychologically? You know, we saw CJ dealing with it. We saw, oh my gosh,
Toby was dealing with it. Yeah,
we saw Toby dealing with it, and
Charlie had to deal with it
and even Donna to certain regards in the episode
and
where
she
Josh
wasn't even there. Yeah,
no. So it's really. I think it's really important that they addressed it, because we were wondering about that. We're like, Josh is, taking this the best out of all of them, but in reality, not even so much. Bit. No.
It's interesting that the psychiatrist, Adam Arkin, who is a phenomenal performer, who's great in that role and does a lot of directing, I think mostly for television now.
Mm-hmm. I think he's directed some Succession episodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The character, but I kind of like the fact that he got through it. And it was like, he just like, okay, you're not that, your case actually is, you have straight up PTSD, you need therapy. You are really not that interesting or complicated. It's pretty. You have a pretty straightforward reaction to trauma. Is what you're having.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to work through it. You're going to be. Here's a therapist. I'm not going to waste my time because this isn't that complicated.
It's not. No.
Good luck. You're going to be okay. Which I like how it ended that way.
Yeah.
They didn't make him special for how he was suffering compared to thousands of other PTSD words victims.
A lot of letters
around. Right, exactly. So it was as good an episode of television I've ever seen. It was very well written.
It definitely a standout. I feel like we're gonna be looking back once the show's over and be like, Noel was a huge standout for us.
So far my favorite 2 episodes have been the 2 Christmas episodes.
I would say a great Christmas episode. Yeah, and I like the way the whole perspective of the show makes you think there's a bigger issue and that he's not going to be okay.
Right.
But I like
for most of it. Right. Yeah.
They
I mean, you're not cured, but we've got a path for you to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
Right.
So
it was great. Yeah.
And the reverence that each character has for one another is fantastic. They all had Josh's back. They all made sure that he was getting the help he needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Yo-Yo Ma was there.
Okay, yeah. So Yo-Yo Ma, that's the second time they referenced Yo-Yo Ma, because I think it was in the for season 1, Thanksgiving or Christmas episode, they mentioned that Yo-Yo Ma would be playing the cello at one of the banquets they're going to be having.
He didn't. Not for us.
No, you don't see him there.
It was nice to see him in this episode. Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody else pointed out on Patreon that the other therapist in the show that they have had in the first season, that therapist's name was Stanley as well.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of a Sorkin callback, is that he names the therapist Stanley.
Interesting. I have to look at other shows and see if he does the same thing. All right, guys, do you want to welcome some new Patreon subscribers? Tina, Sean Griffiths, James Miller, Jeff, Pretend It's Cool. I do.
Yeah.
And Paul Beerberg. Thank you so much, guys, and welcome. We really do appreciate you. You are the ones who help kind of allow us to do this and keep going.
You guys are the best. Thank
Absolutely.
You so much. Those of you guys watching us on YouTube, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
Hit that like button if you guys don't mind. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us your favorite episode thus far. No spoilers over
Please
here.
don't spoil anything for us.
Please, it's too good.
Everyone's done a really good job not to spoil, except for one person who I blocked.
And we thank you.
Absolutely.
And while you guys are here, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything we're doing here. If you do want to see more episodes of The West Wing, we are 4 ahead on Patreon. So by the time you're seeing this, we are even farther down the line in season 2.
Absolutely, yeah, cranking right along through season 2, so you get a chance to be a little bit farther ahead.
Yeah.
We do that for the nice people on Patreon who are paid subscribers, so get a chance to see farther. Yeah,
all of our shows.
Absolutely,
so it's not just The West Wing. We're doing Schitt's Creek, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Mad Men,
Fleabag,
Barry. We're also doing Succession. We put a couple episodes up on here, but we're doing the show in its entirety on Patreon, so you can watch the full length reactions over there, guys.
Absolutely, we're more than 3. We're into season 3 over there.
Josh, freezing in here.
Is it a fireplace that actually gets used? You can't do that. You can't randomly use a fireplace.
You're not using lighter fluid or anything, are you?
No flammable liquids of any kind to start a fire, ever.
Appropriations goes here, House budget.
Senate budget.
Again.
Yeah.
White House staff.
That's right.
So it's a breakfast to trumpet a new spirit of bipartisan cooperation and understanding in the new year. No one's going to be listening to each other anyway.
I think you're saying we don't speak Jankowitz.
Those are the thing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What?
Missed one.
Who?
Is it the president?
Okay, guys. You know what we did? We forgot the president.
Yeah.
Does anybody smell smoke?
There's nowhere for the smoke to go. The flute is
There's
closed.
smoke in the hallways.
The flu's been welded shut since 1896.
Oh my God!
What are you doing? Somebody started a fire in this fireplace.
You know you told me not to wake you up unless the building was on fire.
We can't talk about the patient's Bill of Rights?
We can talk about the patient's Bill of Rights. We just can't talk about dropping the provision that would allow for litigation. It's fundamentally the same thing, and the Republicans have agreed to discuss changing the name
In exchange for calling tax breaks tax relief.
or income enhancement.
Who was the idiot who set off the smoke alarm last night?
Well, it sounds a lot like you're talking about Sam, Mr. President. I'd like to talk about those rules in that memo you're
It's a
reading.
breakfast. Toby, it's a pancake breakfast. There's nothing in that memo that's important.
We're having Vermont maple syrup. New Hampshire syrup is what we serve in this White House.
Sir?
It's a breakfast. We eat, we pose for pictures, you do a post-game conference.
The efficiency expert has said we could free up much-needed office space by moving the press room across the street.
What else? I want you to go to Ben and Sally's for dinner tonight.
Are you going?
No.
And what stupid-ass Irish thing did you say to Karen Cahill that you now need me to apologize for at Ben and Sally's like a little girl?
I made a joke about her shoes.
Joke about her shoes.
I'm sorry? I am totally there for you.
Thank you.
Can I get Sam to do it?
Fine.
Anything else?
No.
But we all agree on a need for a renewed spirit of
Felicity
bipartisanship.
Huffman.
Yes.
The meeting was positive,
Yes.
friendly, frank, and productive.
Yes.
Isn't she a convicted felon?
She is. I think she's currently doing jail time. Yeah.
I don't think they're on equal footing.
My boss and your boss?
Yes.
I don't think they are either.
No.
And the majority leader is going to brief outside of.
Oh, you can't blame a girl for trying.
CJ is such a badass.
She really is.
Borrow her for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, like, all the guys in there will hoot and holler and rant and lose their temper, but CJ will just win every argument.
It's because she's the jackal, baby.
You want to free up office space by kicking out the press corps.
Yeah.
And putting in a swimming pool.
I realize that there's some flaws in my logic.
Yeah. He needs you to go to dinner at Ben and Sally's and apologize to Karen Cahill for making fun of her shoes.
I didn't make fun of her shoes.
He did.
I don't have any problem with her shoes.
You don't fall down, do you?
Oh my God.
With Karen.
Is she intimidating? It sounds like she's intimidating.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
She's got weird shoes.
I never have been before, but that's no reason to think I'm not going to do it.
There was a freshman Democrat who came to Congress 50 years ago. And we're the Republicans. I want to meet the enemy. The Republicans aren't the enemy. They're the opposition. The Senate's the enemy. Have breakfast with her.
Thank you.
I know he's still railing for a
I
minute.
want him to talk about the minimum wage, and I want him to talk about the patient's Bill of Rights.
I believe you might be talking about the comprehensive access and responsibility. I brought you a present.
What is it?
Guess.
Really?
Is it
Sure.
maple syrup?
It's a bottle of New Hampshire maple syrup.
It's a can of New Hampshire.
I nailed that one.
It's really what I think could have been a nice moment.
You got my note.
About moving the press room to the OEOB. I did.
And?
Don't let anyone ever know that you wrote it, and don't ever mention it again under any circumstance. The press doesn't want physical distance from the president, and the American people would prefer the president didn't have physical distance from the press.
CJ.
We can't exile the press.
CJ thinks if we move the press out of the West Wing, the American people will object.
She's crazy.
CJ knows this stuff.
I want to tack on a question, okay?
They're always arguing
Would
with
you
CJ for
object?
some reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Would you
Right.
have, yes or no, would you have an objection?
Wow.
Object to the White House moving the press room out of the West Wing and into a facility across the street? Read it back.
I made some very scholarly points regarding the remaining nuclear weapons in Kyrgyzstan, and I have to believe, not to see.
Kazakhstan.
I'm sure you got it right last night.
Oh, it's gonna
He's
bug
not.
him.
He's
That's
going to
gonna bug him.
Yeah.
Okay.
You really think raising the minimum wage is going to put a dent in the poverty rate?
Yes.
You could at least keep
God.
up with inflation and
Well, having the votes doesn't matter that much if the leader decides there isn't going to be a vote.
That's also what happens. Yeah.
we'll offer the wage hike as an amendment on everything that moves.
Say that again? What have I done to make you think I'm scared of you?
In exchange for what?
I want the press conference at the Hill. Our guys are tired of looking like the president's stupid cousin. CJ Craig says no.
CJ works for me.
CJ's smarter than Toby, though, and Toby's a genius. But I feel like CJ gets this more.
Yeah, that's her arena.
I mean, that's not fair of me to say.
Toby's
a
smart.
brilliant guy,
Toby gets
too.
it too.
I just feel like going against CJ has never worked out well for
No,
anybody.
she's always got a little more leverage. It seems like.
Right.
I said the wrong one.
Maybe not.
I'm fairly
God,
certain.
yeah.
You had a 50-50 chance.
It was Karen Cahill. There was a 99 and 100 chance of saying the right one. I said the wrong one.
What?
Are you going to the South Street exhibit tonight?
How did you know?
You told me. She's going too.
How do you know?
She told me. You just had to come up to her because she knew she'd get a kick out of this. Sam Seaborn is being so cute. He was
Oh my God.
because he may have said Kyrgyzstan when he obviously meant Kazakhstan.
They would like to put a provision of the patient's bill up for discussion.
Well, that's a little something you can all disagree on.
In exchange, she wants the press conference on the Hill.
Now she wants the whole thing on the Hill?
Yeah, listen.
I said no yesterday to the split conference. It shouldn't be me then. It should be Henry.
Do it.
Huh.
I'm kind of curious how this is going to resolve itself.
Apparently
This is either going to be a good ending or a bad ending.
I wanted to ask you, are you guys thinking about moving the press room across the street?
No.
I heard you were discussing it.
From who?
She got called by a pollster who asked her how she felt.
She got called by a pollster?
Yeah.
Well.
She herself got called?
It's...
We're about to get hit.
Minimum wage hike.
Oh, wow.
The wage hike was not discussed.
Well, are you considering a $2 increase?
This is the quote. We're going to attach it as an amendment to everything that follows. Could you say that again to me?
Wow. She played Toby. Like yeah, she did.
I've got Henry. What do you want?
It's your show, Toby. What do you want? Yeah.
What do you want me to do, Toby?
Yeah.
Don't let him take the podium. I misunderstood my relationship with Ann Starr.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And now it looks
She
like he
played
went
you.
to the press and went for his knees. We can't put a fork full of waffles in our mouth without coughing up the ball. You got beat.
Why wasn't he at the podium? A sore throat? We know how tough that can be. Thank goodness he had health insurance.
There it is.
That's the same one.
And then, Donna,
What was in the envelope?
your underwear.
What?
What? How did you get my underwear?
Donna, did you by any chance wear the same pair of pants 2 days in a row?
I've done that before.
Donna, did you check the pant leg for the
I've
previous
done this
I
before.
don't need to check the pant leg.
Donna,
That's embarrassing. That's really
They
embarrassing.
fell out of my pants.
floor in front of Karen.
Oh,
Cahill.
no.
Cahill's one who sent him.
Please tell
Oh,
me she's not the
no.
one.
She sent a note.
Oh, no.
Stand or sit. We're in the majority, and things are going to have to look it. And by the way, don't ever walk into my office without an appointment.
When are you going to announce
Announce what?
that he's running for president?
I'm pretty sure we just did.
Donna Moss needs a favor.
Oh, no.
Last night to Karen Cahill, she accidentally dropped her underwear.
Oh,
Donna wants me to call Karen Cahill and make it clear she wasn't hitting on her when she gave her her underwear.
Oh, yeah. Toby can see him leaving.
Yep. Cold shoulder.
You know.
It was a blunder from top to bottom. You should know that it could have been avoided at several points along the way if I'd listened to CJ. You're coming for us, Leo.
I know. I was just hoping it'd be peacetime a little longer.
We're in constant election cycles now. Yeah.
We just formed it.
Formed what?
The committee to re-elect the president.
There you go.
That's cool.
Man.
Great
That was
episode.
a really, really solid episode.
It was. It wasn't as showy as the last one, but it was still full of a lot of thoughtful. The whole episode's really about like bipartisanship,
Sure,
and like its flaws and how it works and how it doesn't work. More specifically, how it doesn't really work.
right.
But no, it had a lot of food for
The
thought.
stakes are just so high, so it doesn't
Exactly.
happen. Interesting that it was like there's so much comedy in the episode.
Yeah, a lot of hijinks.
Right. Really good comedy too.
Yeah.
Blended very well in with the very sobering fact that sobering fact that politics is ugly and it's going to stay that way.
Yeah, it's always been that way. It's going to stay that way to the end of time. I mean, you're right about the comedy. It was a certain brand of comedy. It wasn't like crude, but
Right.
it's a very old-fashioned visual gag. Two guys trying to start a fire in the White House.
Right.
Donna leaving her underwear out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, of course. There was a lot of comedy with it, but
A lot of light
man,
moments.
they really worked that in around some pretty heavy stuff, though, didn't they? They kind of a lot of that came out of the blue, especially towards the end there, when you could actually watch in real time the press conference imploding.
Yeah,
and you can see like, wow, did things really go off the rails in a bad way here?
I liked how they did that too.
Yeah,
because it almost felt like a thriller for
Sure.
a second. You know, the way they shifted the gears to that to Wednesday, and all of a sudden everyone's like waiting around, like, oh no, what's going to happen?
Yeah, we got to watch it unravel through CJ's eyes because we weren't on the hill with that. We were with her watching the press conference.
No, yeah, from her perspective, she knew immediately.
She knew, we're about to get hit. This is all going to fall apart.
She's
right
like,
now.
Toby, they've got some kind of motive here.
Yeah,
and Toby
always listen to CJ is one of the lessons to take away.
Another great T-shirt idea.
Always listen to CJ.
No, but
I would.
Toby got blinded by it. I mean,
he did.
This was an old friend.
Yeah.
He thought it could be nice. She brought maple syrup, and he was like, "Oh yeah, she's cool."
Yeah.
Not cool.
No, she disarmed him with a $20 gift.
and normally like we agree with bipartisanship. I think it's very necessary. Obviously, you need it. But I mean, as this show, like we said a million times, is relevant today. You don't really see that anymore. It is all theater. It's all mudslinging. It's all just he said, she said. You're the devil. You're the devil. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's exhausting.
It's hard when everything's so polarized.
Yeah.
Like how do you compromise when one group of people says abortion should be free and one group says abortion should be completely outlawed?
Yeah.
Where's the compromise in I will not step off this stone and you will not step off that stone on anything, on guns, on education, on taxes,
minimum wage,
right? Exactly. If people will not leave their trenches. And I'm not saying they should on certain things. I'm certainly firmly entrenched on a lot of issues, but I don't know where you find common ground for compromise on some of these issues.
Especially the wage. I mean, even today, like post-pandemic, it's like people are struggling to live, whereas small businesses are also like struggling to stay open as well, and business is a huge necessity. But also. You got to pay your bills. You got to eat. You got to take care of your kids.
The idea that people should work full-time jobs for billion-dollar corporations and have to be on food stamps is pretty upsetting, right? Yeah,
very upsetting.
But again, you can't get people to agree on that. Some people will say that minimum wage is too high. Some people say, well, if you don't like that job, get a better one. With the fact that there aren't better jobs out there for some people,
it brings us back. There's too much focus on one side of things, and there's no middle ground. There's no gray area.
Yeah, there's at least very little gray area.
Right? It's like just because you believe in one thing doesn't mean it has to be the end all be all. There can be some middle ground.
But I mean, like I said, I get it. It's hard to find wiggle room when you believe that the thing that is your thing is 100% right, and anyone who disagrees with your position is 100% wrong.
It's always been that way, isn't it?
Right. It's just
ignorance is bliss and frustrating.
If you take two guys and one of them believes that everybody should have a gun, and you take another, and one of them believes that nobody should have a gun, and you lock them in a room and say, you guys can't come out of this room until you both agree, they're going to die in that room.
They're going to die in that room.
You know what I mean? That's just who we are.
That's their same with the breakfast.
Right.
That's why it's just a breakfast because no one's going to agree on anything.
It's a 90-minute breakfast. Yeah. We're going to solve nothing in that time.
I'm very surprised. We never saw the breakfast. They kind of did a little bait and switch there, right? The whole episode is built around this breakfast, and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter.
It's like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That's funny.
It's like it's the jewel heist that never was.
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
See ya.